So the mini cut is finally over and it's time to get swole. You know what I mean. Just a little bit more oomph. Now the question is, how much weight did I lose? Drum roll, please. Wait, I don't have to do that. We can just edit that in. Much better. So we lost a total of 11 pounds in 4 weeks. We went from 201 pounds to 190 pounds. Now you saw it here first. There is no secrets. I've shown you everything from my diet, my calories and macros, the foods I eat, the foods I buy, the cardio that I'm doing, and what my training routine looks like. And I think this is just a perfect example is if you are consistent and you are sticking to a plan, what that can do for you. And I also want to say and just give you advice on if and when you want to start a mini cut, do it at a time in your life where you know you have no distractions. For example, you don't have a big trip coming up in 2 weeks. Because a mini cut is just a short period of time, you want to get the most out of it. And because mini cuts more than likely are aggressive, you just want to get in and get out and just get the best results you possibly can. And if you do the work, I promise you, you will get the results. But more importantly, the more consistent you are, the better results you're gonna get. And now my favorite part. Maybe we can do a little side-by-side comparison on where we started to where we are now. Even though when we started, I was 201, but I was already 2 pounds down when I started at week 1. So that's what you guys saw. But either way, you're gonna see a big difference from then to now. Oh my God. One thing that I do love, especially with just losing 11 pounds and knowing that I'm still 20 pounds at least from my potential stage weight, is the improvements that I can already see moving forward, almost like a sneak peek into what the future holds for me and my physique. I can clearly already see more fullness and just more oomph, right, and more definition in my chest, which is something that I've really been working over the years. Clearly, we all know my legs have grown. I mean, that has probably been the most dramatic transformation, both from the front end and the back end. And when I say back end, I mean hamstrings, not my glutes. And my back, it's hard to kind of tell if I've grown more width. Width is one of those that's just gonna come with overtime and thickness. I really don't care too much about width just because I feel like I'm already there. It's more the actual thickness, especially in the density in the middle. So I can definitely already see that. My shoulders, at least the side delts, a lot wider, so that's great. My arms, especially because of my injury, I feel like we were moving forward. We took a few steps back, but now that I think I'm finally healed, at least I'm doing exercises that I couldn't before, especially those overhead exercises. I think we're back in the game. So this is gonna be very important for me to push. But all in all, you can see a lot more leanness, a lot more conditioning just from losing 11 pounds. So just imagine what losing 11 pounds could look like for you if you were trying to lose some weight. Let's keep on going. So what's next? Well,
before we get into that, I do want to give a quick shout out to my client who I got here on my YouTube channel from being subscribed and watching my videos. His name is Cody, and I'm sure Cody is going to be a surprise for you, but I do want to really put a spotlight on you because you've been amazing from the start. You've lost 35 pounds simply by following the macros, the cardio, the training plan, and us meeting weekly and doing our weekly check-ins. So if you guys wanna know anything about my coaching, you can definitely message me on Instagram. I don't have any links here on my YouTube channel, or you can just message me down below. Just message me and comment coach, and I'll definitely reach out to you. But Cody, you're the man, and I can't wait till someday we get you on the stage. So what's next for me? Well, I bulked for 8 months, did a 4-week mini cut, and now back on the bulk again. Now, I don't have any shows in line besides the Ben Weider next year in November 2025, but that is basically a national show. This is where a natural can get their IFBB Pro card, which has always been the goal since the start, but I do have to qualify for that show, meaning that I have to do a show prior to that. So at least my goal would be something later on in the year compared to earlier on in the year. But I did talk to coach and messed around with maybe saying that I'd like to also get my WMBF Pro card and maybe go for that as well. And for those of you who don't know what that is, WMBF stands for World Natural Bodybuilding Federation. Basically a whole organization for naturals before the NPC really started to promote more natural bodybuilding. So just to give more naturals a better playing field of competition compared to kind of going into the open and competing against guys that are enhanced. But now that there's natural shows in the NPC, it makes things a lot better and more competitive, and again, to level out the playing field. So I thought about that. I'd really like to. I feel like it builds my resume a little bit more if, when, and someday I do have a WMBF Pro card and an IFBB Pro card, and no one can ever say that I'm not natural. But I did realize that I would have to do multiple shows next year, and that might hinder my progress because I'd have to probably start prep a lot earlier than what I'd like to. And when it comes to growing and having an off season, and as a natural, it is hard to build muscle over time. So the more time you spend growing, the more time you spend trying to build muscle, the better results you're gonna get. So I personally rather just push my off season as far as I can into next year and start dieting later on, potentially, hopefully in the summer, so then I can get ready for a show before the Weider and then the Ben Weider in November. That's basically my update on what I will probably be doing. But on the bright side, I might not be on prep, but Sam is. And she's actually 4 or 5 weeks out, as well as Ron, my videographer and editor, and also Danny, my videographer and editor, who you have seen on the channel, all 3 of them before. So I am super excited that all 3 of them are gonna be competing in Las Vegas in just about 4 to 5 weeks at the Natural City of Lights, which is the show that I did and I won the overall in case you guys wanna see that show day video. We have a whole prep series if you guys go back, and you guys can see everything, show day video, all the fun stuff. So we'll talk a little bit more about that with Sam later on. But yeah, it's time to get ready to go for the gym, doing a little bit of climb work. Talk to you guys soon. Ooh. All right, we're back on the way to the gym. Hit a little chest, and do you see that little chest workout? You see, is it working? I still got to grow my chest more, but it's going. So one thing I wanted to bring up that I didn't talk about yet was the calorie and macro change now going into my reverse, now going into my lean bulk, and what that looks like. So as you know, I've talked about my calories and macros during the mini cut, but we've increased the carbs up 30 grams and we've increased the fat 10 grams. So I think that comes out to like almost 200 calories total. And that's kind of how you want to do these things when you do a mini cut, when you've gone through a big transformation. You don't want to just go back to eating the same amount of food you were eating previously before you did the transformation of the mini cut, because then you can almost guarantee that you're going to gain all that weight back fairly quickly. And the goal when doing something like that, the goal when you lose so much weight is to reverse, right, and gain potentially some of that weight back over a long period of time, especially when you're doing a bulk. It's natural that you're going to gain some weight, but again, the slower the better. We want to maximize the muscle gain and minimize the fat gain. So I lost 11 pounds. So the goal would be to potentially gain 8 to 11 pounds within the span of 6 to 8 months. But if I gain that in 2 months, which I easily can if I just eat like a jackass, then you can almost guarantee that most of that is going to be fat. And we don't want to do that. That's just a little tip and a little lesson for you guys there. As far as workout, we're gonna go hit a chest workout. Supposed to do that yesterday, but was really sore, and I just decided to just kind of go by feel and not train my chest if it was still sore, because it just defeats the purpose of recovery and just puts you a little bit more at risk of injury. And I fear, like actually fear, because I see it way too much on social media, tearing a muscle. Like, do you imagine you're doing a bench press? I hope this hasn't happened to any one of you, but do you imagine doing like a bench press and then just like your chest, oh, like I've seen it on social media and I look at it, and right before it happens, I'm always like, ah! I don't want to see that. I don't want to feel that. I just don't want to experience that. So just make sure you guys are warming up, make sure you're listening to your body, and making sure you're getting enough rest and recovery before you hit that muscle group again. I have changed up a little bit of my workout split now that I'm going into a bulk, now that I'm going to be eating a little bit more and using that food for fuel. But we'll talk about that once we get in the gym. This exercise, 1 or 2 intense ass sets, and honestly, your chest is done. Really all you need. So what I really do here is like 2 hard top sets and then usually 1 back off set or like a drop set at the end, but 3 top sets for me wouldn't be, especially since I have other chest exercise following this exercise. But the reason why I love this one is because of the stretch I get. Now I know a lot of people probably would prefer something more stable than cables. I personally don't mind it. I also do machine presses as well, but it's the deep stretch that I get, and it just provides the most tension in the stretch position. And honestly, the pump I get and the soreness I get for a few days after with this exercise is definitely worth it. But one thing I did want to talk about was the quick little change I've made into my training routine. So I kind of went back to my old, just depends on how long you've been watching me for, but kind of my old routine that I was doing prior to the mini cut in this first bulk, if you want to call it. I went back to chest and back, arms, legs, chest and back, and then arms. Really trying to prioritize my arms during these next 6 to 8 months or however long I'm going to be bulking before I prep again, because as you guys know, because of the injury, I want to bring them back up, and I feel like it is probably one of my weaknesses right now. So prioritizing the tricep and trying to get that a little bit bigger, and then the biceps as well. Other than that, as long as we just keep doing what we're doing, we stay injury free, we're going to make great progress. So sometimes I just feel smoked, but that's why I say intensity is king. So one thing you're gonna notice in a lot of my chest videos is that 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna do some sort of an incline press or fly, because I'm really trying to grow that upper chest where the clavicle is really trying to fill that out. But one thing I've been loving about the progression of my chest, and especially this exercise, and why I really like it, is because I feel like my upper chest just like digging into my chin, which makes me feel like my chest is just thickening up there. But specifically this exercise compared to the last one is very stretch dominant, so very heavy at the bottom, while this one, you can mess around where you want the resistance. And I put the resistance more so at the top. So not that much resistance at the bottom, but as I get to the top, I'm gonna feel most of that weight, and I feel a lot of that tension here on my upper chest. So I'm hoping that's gonna correlate to some growth, but here we go. If you notice on this one, I am lifting up my chest, no longer focusing on my upper chest here. So really trying to load the stretch position, just like the first exercise, but trying to focus more on the lower to middle chest compared to the first exercise. If you didn't notice, my sternum was pressed down more and I aligned the cables more in a straight press so I can focus more on my upper chest. It really all just depends on where you angle the machine or the cables to match the fibers of your chest. So this specific exercise, again, lower and middle chest. But one thing I did want to mention from the second exercise that I really love is the fact that I really feel the inner part of my chest, and I don't really feel that in a lot of exercises. I personally struggle to have more of that thickness in my middle chest, especially my right pec. Genetically, it just kind of like feels like it's missing a little patch. I definitely have a bigger left chest compared to my right chest, so I try and do exercises that I can really focus on my chest, and again, just trying to build a little bit more thickness, especially on the right side of my chest. I've talked about it in some of my videos, but in case you're new here, but all right, here we go. All right, let's check out the chest pump. So we ended the chest workout, 4 exercises, full chest day. Never really do chest days, always chest and back or chest and tries or chest and side delts, but because of the change up in routine, and also I was supposed to do chest yesterday, just threw me off. So just gonna finish off the week. But just wanted to show you the chest pump, see how we're looking. And I wanted to show you the difference of my left pec and my right pec, in case you guys haven't noticed. So it's about to get pretty personal and sexy here. So left pec, you can see there's some size to that. You can really grab that, right? Now my right pec, I can almost guarantee that you can see my left pec from this side. Yep, you can see it right there because I don't have as much meat here and I'm missing kind of like the middle part. I don't have as much thickness as I have on my left pec. And it's also why I pose when I go on stage this way, because this is my better side to show more size. Even though I have gotten some compliments, and my last show said your chest looks very full, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. But also, again, I have been working on my chest, proper carb up, and also proper pump backstage will nail the look. So I'm hoping this time around it's gonna be even bigger. All right, let's go home and eat. So, fast forwarding to dinner. We skipped lunch, maybe snack, and now dinner. I'm here with the beautiful and on prep Sam. Now, one of my favorite things about being on a bulk that I look forward to is 2 things. Eating more calories, and one of them being pasta. That should be number 2 actually. That is number 2, is having a pasta basically every single night because it makes reaching my calories extremely easy, especially when your girl got you some lactose-free cheddar cheese for your boy, because if you're new to the channel, I'm lactose and shitty. Means I can't have lactose, because if not, well, you know
everybody suffers.
Exactly. So enough about me and my mini cut. I'm done with the mini cut. I'm on a bulk. I'll update you guys in the next few weeks how things are going.
take you guys through my workouts and how things are changing in my physique, but I have something better to offer that I think would be really cool that I'm thinking about playing around with, and that's documenting these next 4 weeks all the way to show day, Sam's prep. I think it'd be really cool to kind of show you guys the behind the scenes, the training, the eating, the mental aspect of what it takes to get there, and kind of backtracking a little bit on how everything started, making a whole storyline, but within these 4 weeks, and then showing you show day with Sam, Ron, Danny. I think it's gonna be really cool. And that's pretty much it. So let me know in the comments below if you guys wanna see that, and I will start sketching some things out and making some movies, because now this time I'm gonna be behind the camera. You will see me a little bit from time to time, but it's gonna be mainly starring Sam. Everybody loves Sam and Zoe, all right? So I'm gonna show you one last thing before I let you guys go that Sam's been making that I have every single night. This is a game changer. It's gonna be up to her if she wants to write down the recipe down below. I'm sure if you just comment below recipe, she'll do it.
I'm generous, I'll do it.
Other than that, before I go, Sam, while I go over there, if you can describe prep in 3 words, I don't want you to say much, you gotta save it for the series. 3 words, prep. Here you go, I'm gonna go do that, I'll be right back.
Tired, long, and hungry, I guess.
That's all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
It's the end of the night. This is my second meal.
That was boring.
Boring.
I'm sure we'll get more out of her once we start producing these videos. But one thing I wanted to show you, I hope this really focuses. You see this beauty right here? Well, she made that. This is a homemade Reese's cup. Lactose dark chocolate and peanut butter. This thing, my favorite candy or chocolate bar is a Reese's cup. If you see my show day videos, I always have 1 or 2 before going on stage. Having this every single night, just 1 or 2 of them, is just, I don't even know how to describe it. It is so good. And I'm gonna have one for you guys right now before dinner. I have another one after dinner, but I feel like it's only right to have this with you before you guys go. Uh-oh. This never happened before.
Probably should have taken it out a little before.
It's kind of frozen, but it's okay. Cheers to getting swole in the lean bulk, building some muscle, getting fat along the way, and then hopefully winning the pro card next year.
Let's go.
I love you guys. Stay tuned. Remember, comment below. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video and hopefully the start of Sam's prep series. One bite. One bite.
That frozen crunch.
It's the sea salt at the top. Wow, that's just fucking good. You know Ron posted me farting after my video at the end of my video? What a guy.